Part 33 of Ifoaktreescouldtalk. Welcome to my video blogs of my romance suspense novel, Ifoaktreescouldtalk. This story was given to me as I sat on my front porch early one morning, just being grateful for such a beautiful day. The air was warm and the birds were chirping rather loudly. I had a bird feeder that hung from a huge limb of an oak tree in my side yard. As I watched the birds come for seeds, I simply heard in my spirit, "Imagine the stories that old oak tree could tell you." Sadly, I had the story from the beginning to the end, but never knew about all the twists and turns in the middle. This seems to be how I get all of my stories, poems, songs, blogs, etc. We are moving right along in the book. It is my sincere hope that you will enjoy it. Chapter 16, Glenview's Return. Mr. Hodges was left speechless and stunned that Henry was so boisterous and that he appeared to be perfectly sane in his thinking and speech. He heard Henry's threats loud and clear and immediately cleared his throat. Finally, he spoke again. "Well, I'm sure this has been a stressful situation for all of us," Mr. Hodges said in a much calmer tone. "So from this day forward, let's just put all of this behind us so that we can continue to get everyone well. How does that sound to all of you? And Mrs. Steele, I do apologize for my abruptness and the manner in which I have spoken to you. I know that I have no right to ask this of you, but I wanted to ask you for a favor, please. As you know, Glenview's residential home for the elderly has enjoyed a prestigious reputation for its exceptional care of the elderly. We have had wonderful reviews for not only serving the residents in our little quaint community of Mason Creek and Mason County, but also in serving many other surrounding counties as well. Pardon me for repeating rumors, especially if they are not true, but Mrs. Steele, it has been rumored that you intend on possibly going to Mr. Henderson down at the Mason Creek Times with a story about our latest events at Glenview. I plead with you to please reconsider." "After hearing your reasons behind your parents' brief departure from Glenview, I intend on dropping all charges against you, of course. In return, I would ask you to reconsider taking the story to Mr. Henderson's paper. I'm sure you have many friends and neighbors who have residence in our little facility that rely on us. It would be devastating to those elderly patients to be sent somewhere to where their families can no longer visit them as often." As Anuya listened, she could really see Mr. Hodges for what he was. He wasn't the least bit concerned about the elderly and their families. No, he was more concerned about his reputation and his employment. She knew that Sheriff Eugene ran as fast as he could to tell Mr. Hodges what she had threatened to do. It was, however, only a threat and a ploy that Anuya used simply to buy more free time with her parents. Anuya knew that Mr. Hodges did speak an element of truth. She would have been devastated if her parents would have had to be sent further away to another facility to where she could not have visited them or interacted with them on a daily basis. Anuya thought for a moment. She knew she hit a nerve with the story and had gained leverage, so she decided not to totally surrender to Mr. Hodges' demands. She did not trust him. She didn't know if he planned retaliation against her parents, so she wanted to keep something. "Mr. Hodges," Anuya stated, "I think that you would have to prove the charges that you have against me in order for them to stick. But I will assure you, for right now, the only thing I want is for my parents to be home and well. In order for that to happen, I am demanding that you please place them in the same room. They do not have to be in the same bed, but in the same room. You, of all people, must admit that my father's memory in just the past 48 hours is remarkable. That is because he has to have my mother by his side. She is better than any rehab or medicines that you could possibly give him. I will definitely hold off on any new stories to assure that my parents get the best care, as usual, from Glenview and her staff." "Oh, well now, Mrs. Steele, your parents demand different types of care. It is totally against the policy of this facility for couples to be placed in the same rooms. We here at Glenview have found it more harmful than helpful. Mrs. Steele, I assure you that your parents will receive the best care possible," Mr. Hodges said with a crooked smile. "No, sir," Anuya stood her ground. "I should have insisted that they be put together in the same room at the onset of them going to Glenview." "I will not take no for an answer, Mr. Hodges," Anuya said without blinking. Her face became cold as ice, and Mr. Hodges knew that his reputation as a director would be in question if he denied her. "Very well, Mrs. Steele. I must let you know that this is highly irregular. This agreement must not become open knowledge, or we will simply have to separate them again. Do you understand?" Mr. Hodges stared as to leave himself a loophole. However, Amelia turned the loophole into a noose. "Yes, Mr. Hodges. So we will have to make for sure to put a stop to all of those who carry rumors in and out of Glenview. Don't you agree?" she said slyly. Thank you once again for tuning in or reading along with me. It is my hope that you have been enjoying my romance suspense novel, Ifoaktreescouldtalk, for it has been my pleasure to share it with you. As always, I would love to hear from you. I want to thank all of you that have begun following my WordPress blogs. Please continue to tune in as we are moving right along through the book. If you are interested in obtaining your own copy of Ifoaktreescouldtalk or any of my other books, please visit my Amazon author page here. Also, if you are new to my video blogs and would like to catch up on the story from the beginning, please check out the archives in this blog or simply subscribe to my YouTube videos as they are numbered and in order. I am also a weekly contributor to the Lakeview Times. All of my videos are published each week at www.lakeviewtimes.com.